Hey guys, it's Mark here from Hallmark Pool Supplies, and today I'm going to try to answer some of the pool questions that you guys have been sending in. I've got a few lined up, so let's get started. Oh, and if you guys have any questions that you need answered, put them down below in the comments and I'll try my best to get to them, but the fastest way to get a hold of me is through my Patreon page. Okay, so the first question is pertaining to vacuuming a pool, and it comes from Mando Sandos, and he writes, "Hi Mark, very informative video. So here's my question. I did not use a skimmer plate and I put the end of my hose directly into my intake. My concern is after vacuuming quite a bit of debris, which I followed up with backwashing, could I have done some damage to the filter or added debris to the sand that is now going to contaminate it? I'm probably overthinking this, but I would like to get confirmation from an expert." Okay, so you'll be perfectly fine. Basically what you want to do is clean out your pump basket, backwash and rinse the system, and you'll be okay. In fact, the filter is designed to filter out debris and then return clean water back to the pool. The main reason we're using the vacuum plate in the first place is not because we're getting debris into the filter. We don't want to clog the skimmer line. So that's the most important part. So just make sure when you vacuum your pool, always use a skimmer plate or vacuum plate, and you won't have any problems. So the next question comes from Christopher, and this is pertaining to pressure in a pool. "Hi Mark, I just wanted to say thank you for the great explanation and the video, but my question is, what is the best pressure for the swimming pool?" Most filter systems run between 10 and 20 psi. However, it depends on the size of the filter, the size of the pump. There's a lot of things that will determine what the pressure is. Each system is different. So the best thing to do is if you have clean sand or if you backwash and rinse the system, then put the system back into filter, and whatever the pressure gauge reads at that time, that is our start pressure. And then basically, anytime the pressure goes up 10 pounds over the start pressure, that's when we know we need to backwash and rinse the system. So the next question comes in from Mac, and he says, "Great video. I need to change out my sight glass on my filter. Can you give me some guidance on how to do that?" Sure. A sight glass is located on the side of the multiport, and when we backwash or rinse the filter, the sight glass is an indicator to tell us the condition of the water as it's leaving the pool. So it is very simply and very easily replaced by just unscrewing the sight glass and screwing a new one in, kind of like a light bulb. Just make sure when you do replace the sight glass that you are replacing the sight glass when you are not operating in the backwash or rinse position, because if you do, you're going to get wet. Okay, so the next question comes in from Outzeal, and he writes, "Wow, great video. One question though. If you rotate the handle on the multiport anti-clockwise, can you break something? I think while playing around with my multiport, I might have turned it anti-clockwise. I haven't installed the system yet, so I was just wondering after watching the video if I damaged something." Okay, so rotating the handle clockwise just makes for better wear. If you rotate it one way or the other, it's not going to hurt anything, but rotating it always in the same direction does wear better. But what is most important is we make sure that we always turn off the pump before we rotate the handle into any position. Okay, so the next question comes in from Jep's Dog, and he asks, "Very informative video. I have learned a lot today. However, the question that I have is how long is the average lifespan of the sand in the filter?" That's a good question. A lot of this has to pertain to maintenance, how well you take care of the pool, and the type of chemicals that you use. For an example, if you're using chlorine, the average lifespan of sand in the filter is about 3 to 5 years. If you're using a benguanide chemical, the average lifespan for sand is about 1 to 2 years. So if you guys are not sure how long or how old the sand has been in the tank, some signs to look for is if you are having to backwash and rinse the filter more often than normal, or you're adding more chemicals to the pool to keep the pool clearer. These are all signs that it's time to change the sand. So the next question comes in from user 9039, and they write, very useful. How do sand filters stand up to very dirty green pools? Do they get clogged very easy, or are you going to have to backwash multiple times over and over? Sand systems are very effective. In fact, if we have a pool that is extremely dirty or algae infested, we can actually bypass the filter and vacuum the pool to waste. If we do so, we will have to add water to the pool, but by bypassing the filter, we're not dirtying up the sand. And once we get that pool clean and get it clear, then as far as maintaining the pool, sand filters are very easy to operate and they work very well. So the next question comes in from user EE7. And they write, my pool bumpers on my ladder keep falling off. Is there any way to glue them in place? Well, to answer that question, no. If your ladder bumpers are that wore and they're loose and they're falling off, you need to replace them. Ladder bumpers need to be replaced, and you have to keep an eye on it. Depends on the chemicals that you're using, but over time, underwater with the chemicals, the ladder bumpers will wear down and then they get loose. And if they're not replaced, they can fall out and they can do damage to the sidewall of the pool, especially if you have a vinyl liner pool. So the next question comes in from Barley Hops. And they write, I am only seeing sand coming out of my returns after I backwash, no other time. Could it be from a bad multiport? How do I troubleshoot? Good question. There could be several things going on here, but if you guys have a difficult question like this and you need to get in contact with me, the fastest way to get in contact with me is through my Patreon page, where I can work with you one-on-one and I do phone sessions. But to answer your question, the multiport will have nothing to do with the situation that we're talking about. However, this is only occurring after you backwash. So that tells me that you might just need to backwash and rinse the filter a little bit more. If we have what looks like sand coming back into the pool, it could just be fine debris or dead algae, and it looks like sand. But if it's only happening after we backwash, we just need to backwash and rinse a little longer. And if it is happening due to broken laterals, this will happen all the time and you would have sand in the pool. And if this is the case, we would have to open up the tank and check the laterals inside the filter. What are the laterals? The laterals are the spokes or the fingers in the bottom of the tank. And if they are broken, they will allow sand to go through and then they end up in the pool. And if this happens, this is why you want to keep an eye on it, because if it continues or gets worse, then you will have to open up the tank and check the laterals. We just recently hit 50,000 subscribers, so I definitely want to take this time to thank all of you guys, especially my patrons, for the support of this channel. And if you guys have any questions, leave them down below. I'll try my best to answer them. Definitely remember us at Hallmark Pool Supplies for all your pool needs. My name is Mark, and I'll see you guys on the next video.